Microsoft has announced a new webcam. And of course, this Tom's Guide article is clickbaity as hell. Logitech should be worried. Not really. Logitech is still kind of the household name. Even if Microsoft has done cameras in the past, they kind of stopped making webcams for a little while there. They are making what they're calling, and I think this name is kind of ridiculous, the Microsoft Modern Webcam. Which it looks like every other webcam. There's nothing super modern about it necessarily. It has a privacy shutter. It can record 1080p well, it's a 1080p camera. According to this article, which doesn't make very much sense. It boasts a 1080p resolution, but somewhere here it says it can record at up to 60 FPS, but will only be able to transmit at a max of 30 FPS. So what I am expecting this to mean is that when you're doing video calling through Skype, Teams, Discord, whatever, the mode that it engages on the camera is only 30 FPS. I'm going to assume 1080p 30. However, in OBS or whatever recording software, you should theoretically be able to record up to 1080p 60. I'm assuming that's how this goes. I don't really know for sure until we can get our hands on it. The wording on this is kind of crazy. It is only $70 though. It has a 78-degree field of view, which is not very wide. But a lot of people don't like the super wide field of view because, like, even in this current view, like, most of the screen space is not spent on my face. And while for a chatting, kind of hanging out scene, this works fine, when you're doing a game face cam, you don't want all this dead space in the frame. You just want it on your face. So there's that involved. But also, I don't know. It's only 70 bucks, so that's pretty cheap. I am disappointed though, coming from Windows, or coming from Microsoft, although it does work on macOS as well. Coming from Microsoft, it doesn't support Windows Hello, which is a little weird. Now, granted, the only real consumer-facing webcam that's viable on its own, standalone, that does support Windows Hello, as far as I know, is the Logitech Brio. They had some of the Intel RealSense cameras that released that would do Windows Hello as well, but otherwise, the Logitech Brio was really the only camera that did it. But it is kind of disappointing that this one won't do it. And I only say that because of the size. There aren't these sensors required to do Windows Hello built in here. It's just the camera sensor. You need the multiple other depth sensors and things like that to do it. So we'll see when it comes out. I have attempted to send a review request. However, it's Microsoft, so getting my email to the right place may never happen because it's a megacorp. But I have sent a review request for this to check it out. I have also sent a review request kind of back and forth with Anker because they released their new Powerconf C300. It's a $130 USB webcam that does 1080p. I'm not sure the frame rate because their specs aren't really explained well here. Supposedly it does some really cool low light stuff. It has a 115-degree field of view, which is very wide, as you can see here. And then they show the little like difference here. So the 78 here is essentially what the Microsoft camera has. And then this one can go all the way out to 115 degrees. Obviously, Linus Tech Tips mentioned that in their sponsored video for their studio tour and all of that jazz. They actually reached out to me back in March to review this webcam. I said, yes, I'm interested. They said, okay, they'd follow up closer to release. And now the email that they sent me from literally doesn't exist because Anker, despite being a fairly large company at this point in time, selling peripherals and accessories and cables and things like that, they still effectively operate as if they're one of those less than mainstream, like, Chinese knockoff companies that uses a bunch of disposable emails and stuff. And so I've sent an email to a new contact at the company trying to get that conversation continued, but we'll see. We'll see.